What's up, you guys? Welcome back to the channel.
So today we are at our RV and the day has finally come for us to fix this roof that was damaged a couple of months ago. I'm not gonna get up there because I'm scared of heights, but on the roof we had some damage that was done on a previous rental. And in our last RV update, we broke down this damage, talked about what we needed to do in order to fix it, and today we're gonna be finally addressing it.
But in order to do that, we need to take it home first.
So we have the RV at the house, and today we have three main objectives of what we need to accomplish. So the first is we purchased this kit right here. Now all of this stuff behind me is actually for our camper van. The camper van is so close to being completed. It'll be done within the next week or so, and this is stuff that needs to go into the camper van to make it rental ready. So we got things like coffee maker, waterproof trash bags, we have a cutting board, some storage options, mugs for people that want to drink coffee, some tables, just a bunch of stuff here for the camper van. But today our focus isn't on the camper van, our focus is on the RV, and we have this kit right here that we bought. This kit is a patch kit for the roof of the RV, and it will repair that huge gaping hole that is missing from the roof liner. And so my dad is actually on his way to help HP with the roof, and I'm gonna be tackling the second and third objectives for the day. And my job is not only going to be to prep this RV, because it is going on a rental later this week, but it's also going to be to replace this couch. This couch has just not been holding up to the Texas heat like I would have hoped. And you can see here that this leather is just really not looking good. The pleather couch mixed with the Texas heat just really hasn't been working well for that couch, so we actually got a futon to replace it, because when doing research I found that futons are actually a pretty acceptable replacement for RV couches, so that's what we're going to be swapping out today. But we have a lot to do, so let's get started. Alright, so the first step that we have to do is we have to take this couch apart, because this doorway is extremely narrow, and unfortunately this couch will not fit unless it's in pieces. Talk about over-engineering. So here's the new couch behind me. It actually was way easier to install than we thought. It came in one piece, and then my dad and HP just installed the feet. But let me tell you, I am super happy with this purchase. Unlike our previous couch, which was fake leather, this one is cloth, and I think from like a cleanliness as well as just longevity standpoint, I think that this will be much better. And the way that it works is you simply pull the couch out, pull this thing in, and then it falls into a bed. Now, don't get me wrong, it is still pretty small, and somebody who's like 6 foot tall isn't going to be comfortable on this, but I can fit pretty nicely, and I'm 5'6". All in, this futon cost us 180 bucks. I'm super happy with the purchase, and I think it will be loads better than the tiny couch that we had previously, which really could only fit a small child, like a 2 or 3 year old. So this at least will give our guests some more options. But now that the couch is installed, it's time for me to start prepping this RV for the next rental, while my dad and HP are on the roof repairing the liner. How's it going?
I hate it!
Many times on the channel before, and I'll probably say it as long as HP and I own this RV. I like the RV because I think it provides a lot of diversification with our fleet, and especially after this claim and the amount of money that we were able to make from it, which we will go over at the end of this video, it makes it even more worth it. But man, checking in this thing between rentals is just quite the pain. It is so different than a car, where with a car all you have to do is run a vacuum through it, wipe down surfaces. There's a level of cleanliness that's expected with a car where you can achieve that relatively quickly, maybe 15-20 minutes max. But with an RV, it really is an Airbnb on wheels, and so you have to make sure to clean the unit between rentals, but you want to make sure that it's clean to the point where somebody will feel comfortable showering, sleeping, eating in here. And so I always like to look at it from the perspective of what would I want if I was a renter. And if I was a renter renting an RV and I got into the RV and it was dirty and it was clear it hadn't been sanitized, it would quite honestly really gross me out. So I feel like my standard with the RV specifically, because people are going to be doing, you know, private things in here like eating, changing, showering, going to the bathroom, all of those things, I want to make sure that it's really clean and really tidy. And it takes a long time in order to achieve that. Not to mention the fact that, you know, we've been so busy with rentals this summer. Like definitely the peak season for our RV rentals is during, you know, May, June, July, August. And it is just unbearably hot outside. I don't know if the camera does it justice, but I am like dripping sweat over here. It is extremely hot in here. So there are definitely downsides to this business, though we're happy for the most part with how things have been going. So now we got to move on to my least favorite job of the entire RV, which is the bathroom. So of course, one aspect of the equation whenever it comes to RV share or just RV rentals in general, and this is going to be something that's going to be just pretty much unavoidable with any RV unit, is the fact that you have to do laundry, which is another aspect of the equation. With HP and I, we don't have a commercial space or anything, so we just do everything out of our home laundry room. And so we'll do this like in between our own personal loads. But of course, whenever we do get a commercial shop, that's something that definitely will be on the plans of like having a mini laundry room or some sort of way to do laundry from our commercial space so that we don't have to bring the work home with us. With us, we worked out a pretty nice process because of the fact that we have 2 sets of everything. So we don't have to wait for one set to wash before we can put it back on the RV. Instead, we take the clean set, we put it on the RV. In the meantime, we wash the dirty set, and then we simply put it back in our closet so that it's ready to go for the next rental. So we have that process down quite a bit. But again, this is just another thing that's different from peer-to-peer car sharing. And here's where we keep all of the clean linen. So extra set of dishes, extra set of towels, extra set of sheets, comforter, pretty much everything that you would need. And just like that, the RV is clean. I'm super, super happy with this couch, but this RV is all set to go on its next rental, which is coming up in a few days. But let's check in with HP to see how this roof is coming along. So it is now 7 p.m. HP and I, well, mostly HP, has been working on this since about 1:30, 1:45, so it's been a long time. Unfortunately, we weren't able to record as much as we would have liked to today because the camera equipment kept overheating in the Texas sun, but I think we're making pretty good progress. HP, how do you think it's going?
Pretty good. Come take a look. Like most things in life, good, not great.
We're not here to chase perfection. We're just here to get the job done.
This DIY kit was pretty straightforward. You're gonna lay down a bunch of glue, you're gonna cut it to fit and smooth it out, and everything will be nice, dandy, and roses. But I have to forewarn everybody, I've never claimed to be an RV expert, and not even a mechanic expert at that. But I'd probably argue and say that I did pretty good on this. Now, if you take a look, we have this brand new rubber coating, which is actually the same rubber coating, but it's nice and new and it's fresh and white. And the long story short, you're supposed to put a bunch of glue down, and then you're supposed to nicely layer the rubber down on it, cut it to fit. You use this butyl tape to smooth it out the edges, and then you're gonna go around with some caulk, which is something I still have to do, but I'm gonna let this butyl tape sit overnight and re-tackle that in the morning. But to be honest, it laid out pretty well. And unfortunately, because this kit isn't a professional kit, it's a DIY kit, this membrane was kind of folded in the box, and it's not gonna lay completely straight no matter what we do. No, I couldn't let it bake in the sun either before I glued it down, because honestly, it even said you're not supposed to take it out until you're ready to put it down. So this is what you get, but it's not going anywhere. I've ran it underneath the front cap. I've used so much glue. certified, not going anywhere.
Now, HP is always his toughest critic whenever it comes to anything that he does with anything. And so from an outsider's perspective that was just his assistant throughout the day, I have to say that it looks incredibly good. No, it's not perfect, but that's really, like HP mentioned, we're not going for perfect. We're looking for something that will be a good solution to keep our RV dry, and I think that this is going to do an excellent job. Now, we do know that this is a DIY kit, and given the fact that HP had never done a kit like this before, we do have it in our head that at some point this might need to be totally replaced, and that's something that's definitely on the table for the future. But at the end of the day, we just needed something that can help make our RV go out on these next few rentals successfully, and I think that this will do the job just fine. If it lasts as a permanent solution, that's definitely a bonus, but we're certainly not counting on it. All right, so to address the numbers, which is what I know everybody watching this probably wants to know, at the end of the day, to fix all of the damage that was done to the RV, it cost about $250. This included the kit that HP used to install the roof. It also included a fender that needed to be replaced as well. And in total, RV Share paid us out $10,156.47. Now, it is important to note that we don't know if our only costs are going to be $250, because if at some point in the future we do have to replace the roof, then that will of course cut into those costs as well. But all in all, we are super happy with how this claim ended up working out. This is our first major claim with RV Share and the RV sharing business, and RV Share was awesome to deal with. Their insurance arm, DigiSure, was extremely responsive. They didn't push back on the estimate at all. Overall, this gave me a lot of confidence with using RV Share as a platform, and I'm super happy with how it turned out, even though it was a lot of work.
And guys, as always, be sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe, and hit that notification bell, and we'll see you on the next episode.